Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today is a very special episode because I will be interviewing the first victim of Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, Staci Greason. Staci Greason was the first victim in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, and I'm so fucking excited to have her on today, because she's the first member of that cast to be on the show. Because as you know, I've had a lot of people from the franchise on the show, but I get to have her on, and it's going to be fucking sweet and stuff. She's also a writer. She's written a lot of essays. She has a book out, and we're going to talk today about it and all that stuff. And it's going to be pretty cool. And she was also in Terror Night, more obscure slasher movie classic that Ken Hall wrote. You may remember Ken Hall. His wife Amanda Dushow Hall has been a guest on the show. Yeah. So here is my interview with Staci Greason. Hi, Staci.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I have a little bit of a stuffed up nose, so if I sound a little nasally, it's just a little cold I'm getting over.
You sound beautiful. Don't worry about it.
I just got back from Oaxaca, Mexico. I was at a film festival, and I had this amazing time, but I got a cold. So.
Well, it is going around this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, but it's such an honor. I thank you so much. I want you to know it's impossible to offend me, so swear if you want to.
Oh, okay, good. Be my normal self then.
Yes, be yourself. I sure will. So did you know early on you wanted to be an actress?
Yeah, well, when I was, I think so, yeah. I loved film and TV from a really early age. I really loved going to the movies, and I could see a movie over and over again, and then my sister and I would act it out in our living room. And, but I always wanted to be a singer, and so I focused on music and singing when I was in school. And then when I went away to college, and I started taking acting classes, and then I really fell in love with acting, and did that through my 20s. I don't miss it anymore. I don't miss it for doing it at all, but I like doing it in my 20s. Yeah, definitely.
Oh. What kind of songs did you sing?
Oh, 70s girl songs, Carly Simon, Joni Mitchell, anything like that. And then I loved musical theater. So.
Wow.
That was my how to not get a career. I majored in musical theater in college. That was my major for 1 year until I switched to theater. And I loved doing musical theater. But I was a better actor than singer. So I kept getting cast in plays and not musicals. So I switched to my major.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Colorado.
Nice.
So, and I had a roommate in college. I went to college in Colorado. I had a roommate who was from Santa Monica. Mm-hmm. And so I moved out here and moved in with her. I moved out to California and moved in with her when I think I just turned 21.
Mm-hmm.
Be an actor. Yeah.
Nice. So did you do a lot of theater?
I did a fair amount of theater in LA too, because if you're not working, you have to keep your chops up. So I did quite a bit of theater when I moved here too.
Mm-hmm. What year did you move to LA?
A zillion years ago. I think it was like 1984, 85, maybe 85.
Nice.
I can't even remember what year Friday the 13th was. So what year was Friday the 13th? 87? No.
88. I think it was shot in 87, but came out in 88.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So your first movie was Terror Night?
Yes, it was. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
Yes, written by Ken Hall. I know him and his wife
Yeah, I know. I love Ken Hall.
I know him and his wife very well. She's been on my show.
I love Amanda.
Yeah.
They actually rescued a kitten I found. I found a kitten one day in my back alley and posted on Facebook, and they took Gidget. They rescued Gidget. Yeah, they're good. I love Amanda and Ken.
Yeah, they are just awesome. I just adore them. How did you get this role?
For Terror Night?
Yeah.
Well, I was an assistant at a talent agency on Sunset Boulevard, Urban Arthur and Associates. I can't recommend highly enough to young actors that they should work at talent agencies and publicity firms and actually understand that business side of the business. So I worked for this agent, and the assistant who sat next to me, I think her name was Kelly, one day she said to me, this friend of mine is a producer on this horror film, and they can't find the lead. Do you want to go audition? And so I drove there. I don't even think I had a headshot yet. I drove there one night, and I don't know if Ken was at that audition. I think he was, but Nick Marino was there, and Nancy was her friend who was the producer. I can't remember her last name right now. She has since passed away. Nancy Palladino? Nancy. She was really, really a nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I auditioned, and I got the part. It was so exciting. And that's how I became Princess Butler.
Yeah. God, it's. Oh, go ahead.
It was a blast shooting that movie because we were so young and we were having such a good time, and we went through so many directors. And it was really a blast. I just had a great time shooting that movie. It felt like the age of innocence, you know?
Yeah, I was reading one of the directors was the legendary Andre de Toth.
Oh, Andre de Toth was just a horror. Oh my gosh, he was so mean.
Oh yeah, he comes from.
Was funny.
Yeah.
It was funny to us, you know. Of course, he felt like it was very beneath him, I think, to direct this movie, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. All I remember is that when we were shooting one night, I have a couple memories of working with him. He was wearing an eye patch and a neck brace, and he walked with a cane. And he was yelling at me and Billy with, you're acting like wooden puppets, a bunch of wooden puppets. He was so mean, he tripped on a branch and fell, and no one moved to help him. Everyone was just like, oh my gosh, you're so mean. He was very funny. Eventually someone helped him, but we were just like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
We're out here in the woods making $1.50, having the time of our lives, like, and a bunch of young actors.
Yeah. Well,
and I had this scene with John Ireland, this dream sequence where his character was supposed to rape me, and I remember the costume wardrobe came to me and warned me that Andre de Toth had told them to loosen my bodice so that John Ireland could rip it open and they could get like a boob shot or something, which is crazy because they had so many boobs in the movie anyway, and I was like not the best boobs,
Yeah.
And I was mortified, and so they tied it up really tight, and they had me put electrical tape on my nipples in case it showed. Oh my gosh, Andre de Toth screamed at me, "You'll never work in this town," and I was like, sir, this is not, I was a very naive, sort of, chatty Cathy, happy go, and I was like, sir, this is not even in my contract.
Yeah. He comes from that generation of the studio system.
Great old stories, it made for great old stories. I wasn't scarred by the experience. It was like funny Hollywood story.
Yeah. He's from that generation of when they used to say you'll never work in this town again. Now they don't say nothing. They just do it behind your back,
Right, except for I did work. It was stupid. Stupid
yeah.
to say that. It was like, what are you going to do?
Yeah. But you got to be in a movie with legends like John Ireland and Cameron Mitchell and Alan Hale Jr. and Aldo Ray. I mean, that's big.
I know, and Billy and I had scenes with all of them. them, I think. Well, we didn't have scenes with Alan Hale. We were on the set, though, around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But we had scenes with Aldo Ray and Cameron Mitchell and John Ireland. So it was very fun. And they were all very gentlemanly and, professional. They were all very nice men.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What about Michelle Bauer?
She's a sweetheart. I think we only had a couple scenes together. She was very sweet.
Yeah,
the actors couldn't have been better. I mean, it was a really nice group of people. I just didn't have a bad experience.
Yeah.
It was one for all and all for one. I mean, we were shooting a horror, a low-budget horror film on a, shoestring budget in Runyon Canyon. What's now Runyon Canyon, but was like, was it Errol Flynn's estate? It was still, it wasn't even a hiking trail yet. So, it was fun.
Yeah.
We shot in an old convent up off Mitchell Tarina.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun to do horror movies as an actor. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've been told that, and I'm hoping to do that because I write horror movies and stuff, and I act, so I'm hoping I will get to that point. Grizzly Adams is in the movie, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
I don't think I worked with him.
Yeah.
But then the movie went through many incarnations, right? And then they tried to spice it up by adding in all kinds of strange footage.
Yeah. And then...
No, I can't even, I don't even have a copy. I think William Butler has a copy, but I don't even have a copy.
Yeah, you can get one on eBay, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Now comes...
Because my husband's never seen it, so he would,
Mm-hmm. He's never seen it. Now comes Friday the 13th.
We were acting up a storm.
A what?
I said we were acting up a storm.
Acting up a storm?
Yeah, we were.
Well, you have to with guerrilla filmmaking. You have to. Now comes Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I have interviewed many people from the franchise, but you are the first one from Part 7. Was this another audition situation?
This was a William Butler situation. He called me and said that the actress they had hired to play his girlfriend wasn't working out, and that I should get down to the set. So I can't quite remember how it happened, but I did drive out to wherever they were shooting in Timbuktu, and I met John Beekler, who's like the nicest man in the world.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, John Beekler and Ken Hall are like two of the nicest men in the world. I met John Beekler, and then I think he had me go read for the cast director, Anthony, what's his last name? I'm old now, so I've lost everyone's names. But I think how it was, I went and read for the casting director, and then they hired me. And that was so exciting because as a young actress, it was the first time I got a studio check.
Mm-hmm.
My paychecks at Paramount Pictures.
Right.
And it was signed by Frank Mancuso, the president of Paramount Pictures.
Yeah.
And I was flown first class to Mobile, Alabama. It was a really big deal. And I remember I was so excited because Kevin Bacon was the first one killed in the first one. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like, 6 degrees of separation. Meet Kevin Bacon, man. So excited. Very funny.
No, that's awesome.
That was a great shoot, too. I once again got to, be with Billy Butler and Terry. That was very cool. We just had it was some kind of anniversary that we just had in Hollywood last year for Friday the 13th, Part 7. It was really fun. A lot of the cast was there.
Nice.
And John.
Yeah.
Sold out. It was a good time. Lots of good stories.
Yeah. Had you seen the first 6 before that?
No, I didn't know. I didn't watch horror movies. They were too scary to me.
I think...
I think that after I booked it, I watched the first one, maybe.
Yeah. That's my favorite slasher movie of all time. I love 1 through 6. To me, the 7 was the beginning of the downfall, but 7 and 8 to me have just amazing casts, you know?
Yeah. It's just fun to watch. I like those old slasher movies better than new ones.
Yeah.
They're campy fun, you know, and they're scary.
Yeah.
They're like jump in your seat. Oh, scary.
To me, John Carl Buechler is a genius. You know, he came from Charlie Band's Empire Pictures as a special makeup artist, and he had directed Troll previously. I think he's an underrated genius.
Well, he's a really talented, really nice human.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, very much so.
And the movie's got such a great cast. What was it like working with Lar Park Lincoln?
I didn't really work with Laura that much. My character didn't have any scenes with her. You know, we just showed up and ran out of gas and ran out of oil and got murdered in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really work with Laura.
Mm-hmm. I met Terry Kaiser at a convention last year. Sweet man. Just a very sweet man. I enjoyed meeting him.
I think he was at the reunion last year, and so was Diana Barrows.
I've been trying to get Diana on the show for like a year now. She's been traveling Europe and stuff. And I had a huge crush on her when I was a kid. And my catchphrase on this show, Totally Radical, is from her in the movie My Mom's a Werewolf.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope I get her on the show soon. She seems like she'd be
down to earth. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, she seems very awesome. What about Susan Jennifer Sullivan?
Well, you know, I didn't work with any of the cast because I was just in and out.
Mm-hmm. So it was just you and William Butler then?
It was me and Billy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Were you satisfied with your death scene? I mean, you were the first death in the movie, right?
Oh, yes, I was. It was very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, Kane Hodder is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kane Hodder. I've met him. He's a great guy.
Yeah. He was like, "Sorry, darling, here we go." The interesting thing is, years later, I now actually have this big, actual, real scar slash in my neck, right where that happened. Because about 7 years ago, I ruptured 3 discs in my neck and had to have emergency surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have a titanium plate in my neck, and I remember at one of William Butler's Halloween parties, it was right after my surgery, and I showed up with this big gash in my neck, and he was like, "He gagged, stop the method acting." Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
My mother hates that still shot of me where the tent stake in the neck. She hates that shot.
Oh, I like the way your eyes look. You look like you just had an intense orgasm.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh my God. Yeah. My favorite death in the movie, though, overall, is when Judy is in the sleeping bag.
Oh, the sleeping bag is fantastic, and it's everybody's favorite.
Yeah. I love that. And also, oh God, what's her name? I forget her name. She gets thrown out of the window, and the way she lands like a plastic doll.
Not Heidi Kovac.
No, I think she was
she's one in the water.
Yeah, she's the water. Yeah, I forget her name. But yeah, I love sick and sadistic stuff like that. But I always tell people, if I could be killed by Jason, I'd just like to be tickled to death.
Oh.
Because I'm such a pussy, I don't like pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have it be quick and over.
Quick and over. It would also maybe take a while too, but who knows. So I noticed that there's a 4-year gap between Friday the 13th and One Stormy Night. Was it hard getting roles after a while?
Oh, well, One Stormy Night is just a nighttime which is a nighttime showing of the soap opera that I was on.
Yeah, you're on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, so that's just part of Days of Our Lives. So I'm still on the hearing. Yeah. I don't know how many years. I think it was like maybe a year and a half before I got. I think it was like maybe a year and a half before I got Days of Our Lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that long a time span. And I screen tested for Days for like over the course of that year and a half or 2 years. I must have screen tested for like 5 or 6 different roles.
Wow.
On the show, and the head of daytime TV at NBC didn't think I was pretty enough for this show. That's what they told my agent. But the executive producer of Days of Our Lives, Shelley Curtis, really liked me, and so she wrote a recurring role for me because the network doesn't have say-so on recurring roles. So she wrote the role that I eventually played, Isabella, and said, "Okay, prove to the network that you are who I think you are." And it was pretty cool. And so I started, and then within a few weeks, it turned into a 3-year contract, which was really great. But, the whole time I had been writing, I'd been working on short stories, and I just realized, I'm a writer. I don't like being in front of the camera as much as I really love creating the story itself. So that's what I have done the last, 30 years almost, since I left the show. Not 30, about 25 years.
Yeah, me and my mom, we used to watch Days of Our Lives when I was really little. People think I'm gay when I say that. And I've interviewed a lot of actors who started out in soaps, and they tell me that, like, soaps are, like, the hardest acting job in the world.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
You gotta make that campy stuff work. It's hard for the writers, too. You gotta make it work. It's a great training ground, though. It's like doing a play a day. I mean, I had 40 to 60 pages of dialogue I had to memorize and do well every day.
Yeah.
5 days a week. So, it's how you can really cut your teeth. But then, I just wanted to go. They wanted me to stay and do another 3 years. I just wanted to write. So, I left, and I was a young, I think I was like 28 at the time, maybe, 29. And I had a vision of what a writer's life looked like. So I moved to the 10 acres on the top of Topanga Canyon on Saddle Peak Mountain into a guest house and just started writing.
Nice.
So, but, and I'm glad I did that. I love writing. We just got back, I said, from the Oaxaca Film Fest with a script we have that's like winning a lot of festivals. We have 3 more coming up at the beginning of November. So we're doing the festival circuit with a script, and my other writing partner and I have a pilot that's going to be in the Studio City Film and TV Festival at the beginning of November. And then I just got my latest novel off to the agent, so fingers crossed this one will, hit. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love writing as much as I love acting and doing stand-up comedy and this podcast, of the 4 things that I do, because I just love creating content.
Yeah, me too. I love all different forms. Like I do TV, film, novels, short stories, essays. I've never done stand-up. That's got to be the hardest. People are always like, "Who wants to do stand-up?" And I'm just like, "Oof, no."
It is, especially in the open mic scene. Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's a real craft. You have to really hone it.
Yeah.
It is a craft. It can take years to just get a good 5 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very difficult. And the worst part about it is the other comedians, there's just so much jealousy in stand-up comedy, and they can really, like, hurt your self-esteem when you do it.
Well, I guess probably true in any endeavor. You have to just really focus on your own mission and not worry about, the riffraff. It's true at auditions, too. When I was a young actress, I used to, other actors will say things to you right before you go in to try to, and it's just like, really? If that's how you want to live your life, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
I'm only in competition with myself.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. That's a very good way. That's a very good way to put it. I'm in competition with only myself.
We are only in competition with ourselves. and I always felt like if somebody else got the job, no matter how much I loved and wanted the job, I went to producers on the series Friends for the role of Jennifer Aniston's role for the role of Rachel.
Oh.
Back then she was a Southern belle, but that script was one of the funniest pilot scripts I had ever read.
Yeah.
And but it wasn't mine to have. So it's and by then I was already writing, and I was like, I don't want to do this, And of course the cast director said, "Oh, she's too soapy." And so the good thing is these days that doesn't exist anymore. For people who look down on soap actors. Well, there's so few soaps left.
Yeah.
But these days I feel like soap operas aren't just a stepping stone for actors. They're a career. You can actually make a living, have a family, be at home. It's a really good career.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
you just got to remain.
I did a Monster Mania in Virginia. Is that what's called, Monster Mania? I did one fan event a few years ago, and I was shocked to see how many people. I had no idea how many people love the old horror flicks. It was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 30 years ago, everyone was going crazy for the black and whites. Now they're, going crazy for the 80s horror films.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. I never thought I'd see the day. When I started going to conventions a couple of years ago, I was just like, oh my God, they're celebrating movies like Reanimator like it's the 1931 Dracula,
Yes.
It's crazy. It's so awesome, But you have a book out called The Last Great American Housewife?
That was my last novel, yeah. It was optioned for a film, and then the option fell out. And my new novel is called Love and Other Disasters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about three women who come together to try to take down their horrible ex-musician boyfriend. So it's sort of about that, but it's not really about that. It's about women and our relationships with ourselves and to each other and all that stuff. So, and I was writing it the last 2.5 years during the whole Me Too thing that was happening, so it was pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
So I do hope this book finds a good home. But if I could choose one thing, I would just write novels forever. I love writing novels.
Yeah. You've also written for you've written essays for like magazines and newspapers. Is that good money too?
That's not good money, no.
No.
No, that's just resume building. That's just trying to keep your name out there and your voice out there. Unless you're published in something that's like super respectable. Like I had a small piece published last year in Brevity.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really, really respectable literary journal, and then people sort of sit up and go, "Oh, that." So it's good to just keep working, just putting stuff everywhere you can,
Yeah.
So sometimes what I do, like I just sent the novel off. I just sent my novel off to the agent, and our script is out there doing the festivals. So it's like I can breathe for a few days, and then I'll probably write an essay or something shorter that I can get out right away.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any convention appearances or festival appearances you want to plug?
I do not. We're this next weekend. We're at LA Live Fest Film Festival. Our script is called The Hero of the World, and it's about a 14-year-old girl who accidentally brings to life the characters from a graphic novel series, and then she and her friends have to figure out how to get them back home. So it feels a little bit like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but
Nice.
She's not slaying any vampires. She's just battling evil dudes from a graphic novel to save a dying princess.
Nice.
So it's funny and fun, and it keeps winning all these comedy awards, and we didn't really see it as a comedy script because the girl, our lead character, Bronte, her mother has just died, and Bronte, the young girl, was like a budding violinist, and her mother was a famous violinist, so when her mom died, she stopped playing the violin. So it's really it's more a movie about like grief and how friends help us overcome grief, and it's a teen adventure flick, but we didn't really see it as a comedy. But I guess the kids are funny, so it keeps winning all these comedy awards. So we're like, oh man, we better start calling it a comedy. It's funny how people see your work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I hope I get to meet you at a convention in the future, Staci, because you seem pretty cool.
I would love to meet you too. Let's make a point of it. Do you live in Los Angeles?
At the moment, I live in Redding, but I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles, and I'm trying to move there. But just the housing rates are just insane, even to like rent a room.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, maybe we'll cross paths with Kid and Amanda sometime.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I see them every year. I go to Monsterpalooza in Pasadena or the one in Burbank.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for thinking of me.
Oh, my pleasure.
Sorry I didn't see your message sooner. I never look at Facebook Messenger. And then I looked one day and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a lot of messages.
Oh, we got it just in time because, I'm interviewing horror people all month long in October, so we did it just in time. And I'm so glad we got to do this. Happy holidays and have a great day.
Happy holidays, you too. Good luck with your writing.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Staci Greason. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Staci. You're a very nice lady, and I'm glad you're following your passion of being a writer, because all writers are fucking awesome, and gotta do what you gotta do. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.